Hello everyone, it's Julie from Beebeecraft Designs. Welcome and welcome back. Yeah, what am I doing today? You might think I'm making a journal. Well, I'm going to be showing you this one that I am making, and I want to make a little charm for the spine. So I'm going to be using these cabochons that I got from Beebeecraft. If I show you what I've done on the spine, I've just put one of those little hooks, little rings, and I want to have one of these dangling from it, because the paper pad that I've used for this journal has got a page with some ideal things. As you can see, I didn't film the making of this. I just cracked on with it. If you want me to show you it finishing, I will. But it's just, yeah, it's a little 5 signature hardcover journal that I'm making. That's not going to be what the inside looks like. That's going to be covered with design papers. The inside is not finished off. I've been putting my book plate on and my ring on the spine, because that obviously needs doing before I cover the inside and make it look nice. And I've got my signatures ready. No decorations yet. It's like, I don't even know what style it is. It's just a vintagey, oldie worldy. I've just took my lead from the paper pack and incorporated other papers that I thought would go with it. Music papers, a few sewn pockets, some green ledger, a few Artie Maze papers. Yeah. And the paper pack's called Everyday Heroes by Heartfelt Creations. I don't even know. Even from the theme of it, I couldn't tell you what the theme is. It's got some nautical bits. It's got bits of butterflies in. It's just grungy. Ledger paper. Yeah, it's just... yeah, I don't even know how I would describe this when I come to list it. Anyway, let's crack on with cabochons, because I want to put one there. And let me show you the page I want to take my picture from, because we've got a lot of things here. They're meant to be little tags or swing tabs, and we've got one here that says remember the time. I'm hoping that's going to be correct size. So like I said, I got these from Beebeecraft. There's enough to make 36 bezels, and they were like £7.60, about $10. So you get the bezel, you get the glass, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this glass just to cover. I will just get that in. That's going to be lovely, and I want that remember the time hanging. So that's good, because I don't have to cut into the rest of this paper. It's one of those paper packs where both sides are gorgeous, and it's really difficult to decide which side to use. So I'm just going to cut this piece off. Now luckily, when I got these, I do have an oval punch the right size. I didn't even think about that when I bought them. They do circular ones. If I'd have been thinking, oh, don't tell me I've just cut that too... I have just cut that too small to be able to get it in my punch and hold it. What a wally. Do you know what I'm going to do? Here we go. This is another lesson in what to do when you muck it up. I'm going to grab a piece of card. I'm going to glue it on. How easy is that? Let's glue it underneath. I just need to be able to hold this while I position it in punch, and I can't now because I've just lumping cut it too small. I'm trying to be frugal with paper. So now can you see I'll be able to put it in punch and hold it while I line it up. What a womble. If I can find a used baby wipe. There we go. Not a used one. I let them dry out. Just I don't want that glue getting in my punch. So I'll let that dry 2 seconds while I show you ones I've already messed about making. Now these were some that I bought from Etsy. In fact, I'll show you them. Look, they're the perfect size to use with the cabochons. In fact, that's the same one I used at the top. Lovely little images they are. So obviously that's going to go on something nature themed or bird themed. I did a few of the lovely ladies by Artie Mays. You can see those. And this set is actually, it comes with earring hooks so that you can make earrings. And what I did, can you see, I used the earring and I just turned that part into another loop so I could extend that dangle a little bit. So I'm obviously going to use them on junk journals, not for earrings. They're not as heavy as you'd think, but I still don't think I'd want those dangling from my logos. But you might. I'd feel a little bit like Bet Lynch. Right, I think that should have glued. So I'm just going to, yes, I'm going to get a little bit of the pattern around the edge. Right, there we go. So I've got that. And that says remember the time. Now my punch is nearly exactly the right size. Can you see one end is just a little bit too long? Oval punches are all, well, they're just squashed circles, aren't they? And they've all been squashed to varying degrees. So I'm just going to take a tiny smidgen off that pointy end. Does an oval have a pointy end? Well, this one does now. Just so that it's going to fit in a little bit better. We'll just test that. Ooh, drop it. Yeah, that's going to be spot on. But before I put it in and press it in permanently, I want to put a little bit of glue on. And I'm using my glossy accents for this. It is a glue and you can use it. You could. Oh, some just squirted out at the top. What's that all about? You could actually put your piece of paper or card in and then just cover it in glossy accents. It is self-leveling and it would give you that glossy sheen as though it was glass without the dome. But I want the dome on this one. If I was putting something inside a journal, I wouldn't want this dome on it. It would be too big. Right, but it is also a glue. It glues metal. So I'm just going to put a little bit, not too much, because this fits in so tight, this piece of card. It's unlikely to come out, but we just want to make sure. I think, yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of inking around this. Just a teeny little bit round edge before I glue it in. Right, and because I want it to hang like that, I want it in that way. So, yeah, that just went in on its own, didn't it? So I'm going to pop that in. Now to make sure it's in firmly, I'm just going to grab one of my, it's a little ball tool, a scoring tool. Here we go. I'm going to use that. I just want to make sure it's in those edges. I don't want it going anywhere whatsoever. There we go. They're so easy, these, and I think they're so worth it. Look at that. Remember the time. Loving it. There we go. Now, if I were doing this, if I were making a piece of jewellery and I wanted it to be perfect, I'd get my alcohol wipes and clean these off, but I'm making a junk journal. And we've got an aged vintagey piece underneath, so if I've got a tiny fingerprint on, it's there. It's frozen in time. Might be a happy accident. Right. This can be a little bit, well, it's guesswork really. You want not too much, or it will all come puthering out the sides when you press your bezel in. If you don't put enough in, it won't glue all the way to the edges. So we're then going to pop that in. Ooh, you can see underneath. I'm not zoomed in for this, I should have been zoomed in more. You can see the glue spreading underneath that glass. So you just want to press your bezel down till you see the glue go to all the edges. And it really is. That's it. It's done. It's that simple. If you get any that squidges out, I just get my nail and wipe it off. There isn't any this time. I think because I've made a few, I've got a little bit better at gauging how much glue to put on. And I love that now. You see it? Remember the time. And I'm going to hang that from the spine of this journal. Yeah. I think I'm going to use one of the earring things. Yes, I am. Because I want it to dangle down a little bit. I'm just going to take all the inside signatures out of this journal so I can lay it flat like this. And we can fasten it to it. Right. I've already got my earring out now. I'll take one of these ear wires. I'm going to need one jump ring to fasten that to there, and I'm going to make this ring. No, I'll just make a little ring and then I'll use a couple of jump rings. Yeah, so I'll show you how I do this. Just grab your, them that cut your wire cutters, that could be them. I've not got my wire cutters out, so I'm now turning around fishing in my drawer shouting at you. I've got a pair of wire cutters. So again, guesswork, about 1/4 inch to half. Snippety snip. There you go. And I'm going to come in with my round nose. I'm going to create a loop like we did when we did those charms. There we go, it's done. So that's just like a little fancy connector now with 2 loops, a bit of wire wrap and a bauble. I shall now grab my jump rings. I've had a bit of a tidy. My desk is all organised and I've got so much more room. Right, these are my antique bronze. I treated myself to some new antique bronze jump rings in a range of sizes because they seem to be the colour I use the most. What size? Yes, I'm going to need that size, I think. So grab my flat pliers. They all have names, couldn't tell you proper names. I'll probably know them. I couldn't tell you names of my kids some days, so trying to tell you the name of some pliers is like, oh yeah, that really is rocket science for me. You can, there you go, I've got it. So pulling it, twisting it rather than pulling it apart. So this is where I find it tricky sometimes to make sure I get it so that's going to face outwards and not inside, so you can't see it. So hooked onto, think about the little ball at the bottom. Then I'm going to put my cabochon on, hold that again and just twist it closed. They're quite good, these as well, they line up very well, these jump rings. And a Beebeecraft do them, but I just didn't think to buy jump rings. That's a bit too obvious, that, wouldn't it? Ooh. Dingle dangle. So I want my ring that way. Yes, that one's going to be big enough to get that and that. So grab another jump ring. Really, it's going to look really good on there, that. When I put that ring on, when I made this album, I hadn't got a clue what I was going to do. Even when I bought these cabochons, I didn't have a clue. But I was just having a little sift through. Oh, yeah, the rest of the 12x12 papers, and I thought, ooh, that would just go perfect in a cabochon. Right, this is where I fall. I've got to hook that on that way. Yes, this one is going to be big enough. So I'm just going to have to twist my book, hold that jump ring. I'm going to have to twist it some more. It's a bit fiddly, this one. Hold. I'm struggling. I don't want to put a really huge jump ring on this. If I did, it would be much easier to do this part. Go on, grab it, woman. Gotcha better this time, and I can twist that closed. I could have put a lobster clasp on, but again, because this ring is quite wide, I wasn't sure it would clasp around it. Oh, we've done it, that's twisted. So let's see whether we've got it facing the right way. Yes, we have. Look at that. I love that. I think that's absolutely perfect on that spine. Remember me, it says. Wowza, love it. So I'll pop them back in. Yeah, I might do the covering of the inside of this book and the filling of this journal. So like I just cracked on and did the bones of it. So I'm really happy with how that came out. Yeah, so there you have it. That's how to do one of these cabochon bezels. It really isn't rocket science. I could do another one, but it'd be exactly the same. And I've already done all these. So, yeah, quick look through this pack. There are a lot of different designs. I think there may be 4 or 5 different designs of bezel. So you've got plenty to go at. It is really well worth it. I'll leave all the links in the description below if you fancy buying some. I know Tanya at Tatty Treasure bought some of the little tiny round ones. They were so cute. I'm glad I went for the big ones because it really is perfect for that journal. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.